Command and Control. Red Alert 2. Take these guys out. Take this guy out. Take this guy out. Take that guy out. Line up. Oh man, I'm almost out of bullets again. No, not time for that yet. I'm not that desperate. Come on, explode the thing. There we go. Ow. So you may have noticed that enemies tend to sneak up on you sometimes, and there are some pretty novel ways that they handle this. Now, enemies will get alerted if they hear you, which happens by shooting, or humorously, it's just attacking. So if I attack with this fist, just fist bump in the air, it'll alert enemies. But if I have this idling, making noise, it won't alert anybody. Now you notice that guy, he was only alerted when he saw me. There's actually a flag you can have to make them, like, quote-unquote deaf, where even if they're somewhere where they would hear you, they instead will wait until they see you, which allows you to set up traps for people playing the game. So you can have a maze that has all these different people hiding in it, and there will be no way to find them unless you actually see them. In other words, you can just turn around a corner and boom, all of a sudden some guy's there. Which is pretty freaky. And there's a thing over here. And here it is. I'm gonna avoid hitting that switch until I'm just about ready to go up it. There we go. There we go, 200% health. How long will that last? Now, it's not like the armor where it gives you 200%. It actually just adds 100 to what you have, and it allows you to go over 100. So whereas health kits will only take you to 100, it'll go over 100, just like the 1% health things. Your limit is 200% for both, though. There's no way of avoiding that. There we go. So I'm back to 200% there. And as I said before, the small armor pickups take on the properties of whatever armor you're currently wearing. So since I'm back to having picked up a blue armor, the 200% is 200% blue armor. That's significantly more effective than if it was 200% green armor, which you could only do if you picked up 100 of the single armor pickups, which is unlikely. At least in official levels. Unofficial levels, of which there are thousands, it's anybody's game. Especially with a modern source port like ZDoom, which is what I'm playing in. They remove all the limits the engine used to have. You know, you could only have so many enemies and so many items laying around, just practical reasons. Otherwise it would slow the game to a crawl. Fun fact, this used to be a swastika. Not because they were Nazis, but because they had just done Wolfenstein. And so it was like a little Wolfenstein Easter egg. But people were already complaining about the satanic imagery, so they decided, you know what, we're just gonna move these lines over and make it not a swastika. Despite the fact that Wolfenstein was about killing Nazis and not praising them in any way, people were still outraged that the imagery was there, so they just got rid of it. It also would have made issues with selling the game in Germany because, as you might imagine, Germany is very, 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 very careful about anyone discussing basically a decade or two of their own history. But they don't want any neo-Nazi groups rallying behind anything, so you have to be very careful of how the media is limited and that sort of thing. So it's illegal to be displaying the swastika in Germany without it being for a very specific educational purpose that is approved. Otherwise you can get in a lot of trouble. Which is incidentally why these games, Doom and Doom 2, were re-released as part of a special edition of Doom 3, the BFG edition. And in that version, some of the Easter eggs in this game, well, not this game, in Doom 2, that involved Wolfenstein, were completely censored. So, it's unfortunate, but at the same time, they wanted to make sure that people could play through this game and not have to worry about getting super approval from censorship boards and other things like that. Interestingly, some of the initial objections about the game being so violent and everything have been withdrawn because as graphics have gotten better, this became cartoony instead of realistic and super gory. And so because of that, they said, you know what, it's not actually as bad as it used to be. And how much did I forget? Looks like I forgot one.